So how do you do factoring equations? Hi, I'm Jimmy. I've been teaching college mathematics for 9 years now, and I'm here to give you a few basics as to how to do factoring equations. Now, the phrase says it all, factoring equations, equations which require you to factor. So I'm going to give you a couple of quick examples to show you exactly how you would solve after you factored those terms. Now, the first example we're going to go over is something of the variety of, for example, x squared plus 3x is equal to 0. Now, what you want to do first is, being that it's a factoring equation, see if you can't factor something. In other words, see what the two terms have in common. Now, both of them, obviously, they both have an x. So you're going to go ahead and pull out or factor an x, and then what you're going to do is start a parentheses to see what's left over. Now, for example, you've taken 1x from x squared, so there's going to be an x left over. And then x times what is going to give you 3x? That's going to be 3. And so you still have equal to 0 on the other side. Once you have something in factored form, now you can go ahead and split these two parts into two separate equations. In other words, x equals 0 and x plus 3 is equal to 0. Now, if you take a look, however, this x equals 0 is already an answer, so that's already covered. Whereas for this equation, all you need to do is subtract 3 on both sides, so you're left with x is equal to negative 3. And that is going to give you your other solution. Now, here's another equation that you might see. X squared plus 7x plus 12 is equal to 0. Now, to do this one, you can write two parentheses and ask yourself, well, how do I split x squared into two separate pieces, x and x? As for the 12, what you need to think about is, what two numbers multiply to give me 12, but add to give you 7? Now, this is where your multiplication tables become very important. Well, the only two numbers that fit that description are 3 and 4, because 3 times 4 is equal to 12, but 3 plus 4 is equal to 7. So that's where the pluses come in. And just like we did up there, split them up as two separate equations, and then solve for each of them individually. Subtract 3 on both sides, and then subtract 4 on both sides. And therefore, you have two solutions. So, I'm Jimmy, and that is exactly how you do factoring equations.